Welcome to Put a Word on It, a podcast presented by Men of Valor. In each episode, we're going to talk with a different man, but each one with a unique journey from brokenness to freedom. I'm your host, Rudy Kalis. I spent over 40 years as a TV sportscaster, then retired and joined the Men of Valor program as a volunteer. So join the conversation. Reconciling men to God, their families, and society. Welcome to another edition of Put a Word on It, brought to you by American Home Design. We thank you for your participation and your wonderful support of Men of Valor. Man, I want you to listen to today is Ray Tullos. I met Ray Tullos at River Bend when we started meeting with guys. And for 2 years, he was part of our everyday group, or every Tuesday and every Saturday when we met. And he was one of those guys that I looked at and said, there's a spirit about him that this man has had a changed life and he wants to never again come back into this prison. That's the guy I want you to meet. It's not it's what you do while you're in, but prepares you for coming out and the success that's there. Ray, when we used to meet with the guys and you at River Bend, you were one of the guys. There were about 3 or 4 guys that I said, they're going to make it. Did you have any worries after spending 7.5 years that you would make it on the outside?
I did not have no worries because I took myself into classes with people on the outside that was the free world people, as we call, and they was always encouraging me to do the right thing, and I took it in.
But was there a temptation when you come out? Because we're always telling the guys especially, let's say we're drug addicts, we say, man, I'm telling you, they're going to be after you. It's tough. If you don't get this right and get your relationship with God right in here, it's going to hit you hard. Did any of that hit you?
It never did, because I never got around those negative people. I stayed with positive people. People I know that would help me, and I stayed in church. And if I even got around people that I thought was negative, I'd just get completely away from them. And I stayed in my Bible and I read. We, here at Men of Valor, you get passes to go out into the free world. And sometimes I wouldn't even go out. I would just stay in, because I know if I got back out there doing this around my friends, I would end up doing the same thing. So I had that already in my heart that I wasn't going to go back out there and do the same thing.
Tell me about, you start with Men of Valor. There are restrictions here. There are things you can and cannot do. You've already told me about your own self-discipline. Is that good for a man? I'm trying to teach the guys that are in to show them what it's like when they get out and what they have to discipline themselves. Did you have to do that?
Yes, this is the best program for any guys that's coming out of prison. Look, I've been here 2 years and 5 months. I got my own room. I have a good job. I have 2 vehicles. And I got the guys here on staff, Men of Valor. They're so good to you. You can't find a better place than here at Men of Valor. I don't care what kind of other programs you got, but this program here is the best program. I don't even want to leave.
Did you get any kickback from people about having been incarcerated? Again, we're trying to teach guys what they might get. Did you get any negative feedback?
You're going to run into that. That's an automatic thing. And when you get the negative feedback from other guys, that's when you got to give them grace. You have to talk to them and sit them down and explain. I do this every day with different guys here at Men of Valor. You're going to have some that's negative and you got some that's positive. But you just have to talk to those guys and give them your heart and tell them everything what's done for you, what they do for you here and how long you've been here. And I tell them every day, guys, I know some of the guys, they smoke and they go out and drink when they get to little passes. But I tell them, I said, I've been off of drugs for 10 years. I've been off of alcohol, cigarettes. They can do it too. I know if I did it, they can do it too.
So you thought you're doing good. You got a good job. And now just recently, all of a sudden you found out what from a doctor's appointment?
That I got an aneurism.
In your brain?
In my brain.
How did it hit you?
It really affected me because I am weak from it now, and I'm having, headaches. But I depend on the man up above and the people here that prays for me, and it encourages me, you know. As long as I'm getting encouragement every day from different people, it helps me out a lot. It builds me up to keep that old negative feeling away from me. You know, praying is the best thing that I can do. Ask God to help me, to heal me, and don't try to put everything else behind me.
Any part of you say, wait a minute, Lord, come on now. Hadn't I been through enough? Why is this happening to me?
Maybe he's trying to get my attention of things I need to do more. They moved me and put me in this class. I mean, not class, but as a leader over these guys to watch them. So that's kind of helped me too. It keeps my mind focused more on them, and I teach classes. It's journal classes, so it helps me, you know. But it's got to be something else more that he wants from me.
You know, it may be that he wants you just to be an example of how to handle adversity. I mean, we can all talk the talk, and I've been through all of that, and I changed, and now all of a sudden they're looking at you, man, he's going through this right here. Do you feel any of that?
I do. I feel it. I have sat in tears, you know, and cried. I've asked God to help me. I've cried out to him, you know, and I've been down for like 3 or 4 days, but I'm starting to get back. Miss Kern came by yesterday, and she really encouraged me on some things. She told me I need to get out and get some sun, and because I just been sitting in, and it's all just been adding up, you know, building up pressure. And so I got out yesterday, got some sunshine and I felt so good when I came back in. And I got to talk to Kurt yesterday, and he was encouraging me, and Telvin and AC, you know, and these the best guys here at Men of Valor. As long as I got them to encourage me every day, it builds me up, lifts me, and helps me.
You know what? I like what you said. What's encouraging is it's okay to get rattled for a minute, because somehow we think when we become Christians, we're supposed to be, oh, thank you, Lord, no big deal. No, but no, it's okay to cry.
It changes you. You hear some little bit of bad news, and you get a different feeling.
But you do draw a line in the sand and say, wait a minute. Yeah. Same God that got me through this before.
He'll get you through again.
You know the name of our program is Put a Word on It. Have you thought on it? Is there a word that's in your heart maybe?
For me to put a word on it, it would be just keep praying. Praying would be the final word.
Can't get any more powerful than that.
That's right.
You're a good man, Ray.
Thank you, sir.
You keep the faith. A lot of us praying for you, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, I love being with Ray. Let me put a word on it. I love the word that he used, pray, because that's our whole lives. It's not a formal kind of a thing. It's just a conversation with a God. And I love the fact that now he is praying. And he literally told me where he works. There are men that he talks with. And there's one man in particular who said he's a real tough nut, a guy that just always seems to be negative about everything. And yet he spends time with him and he prays for him every single night. That's what our whole meaning in life has to be, for ourselves and to make a difference in other people's lives. And now they're watching them, because Ray has this doctor's report, and yet in the middle of it, his light still shines and he wants to make a difference. That's Ray Tullos. Thank you so much for joining us. Joining us again, we hope, next time for Put a Word on It.